best podcast in Long Beach, California. This is Tacos and Workouts. What it is. Podcast.
Órale, Holmes, it's me, Little Hater, the best podcast in Long Beach. And I have with me today a very special guest. Tell him who you is.
That's right. I'm George Lopez. No, I'm kidding. I'm so much prettier than he is. I'm Joey Medina. What's up, guys? It's good to be here, bro. We're on the beach. This is beautiful. Look at this.
Hey, dog. You didn't give him the full lowdown, dog.
I know.
Come on, dog. You gotta tell him who you is. I have a comedy legend with me right here on the best podcast in Long Beach. Joey Medina, original Latin Kings of Comedy. Tell him who you is.
That's right. Original Latin Kings of Comedy. Also, multi-award-winning filmmaker, director, writer, and producer. There you go.
I bet you didn't know that, huh?
And actor, too. Award-winning actor, believe it or not.
Hey, dog, there's a guy with many talents, dog. You know, he does the comedies and he does the films. He does everything. He's won a lot of awards. Ya estuvo, dog. Hey, dog, look, I know you from the Latin Kings of Comedy. And I saw you on that one special. Do you have any other specials that we should know about?
Yeah. I got Latin Palooza is another special. I did Dirty at 12:30 All-Star Comedy Show. It's another special. And I got some other. I did Que Locos, Local Comedy Jam, Cholo Comedy Slam. Anything with a slam in it, I think I'm in it. Grand Slam, I don't know. Just everything.
Because you like to slam things, huh?
Yeah, you know how it is.
Playboy plays, boy, dog. Hey, so tell me, what's the life of a comedian's like, dog?
It's life of a comedian, dude. It's like, imagine being poor. No, a life of a comedian is a lot like being a musician, dude. You know, you're doing gigs, you're on the road, you're hustling. You know, sometimes you make great money, sometimes you make no money. You know, there are times I'm eating Ruth Chris Steakhouse. Other times I'm saving money for Sizzlers. So it's just, you know, it's fun though, man. It's fun. It's creative, and you meet a lot of people. So it's pretty cool.
I think it would be cool because like you're your own boss, kind of. Like nobody tells you what to do, right?
Yeah, definitely your own boss, except if you're in a relationship. Then, you know, the woman's always the boss.
Oh, yeah. They're always in charge, dog. Yes. Hey, I always say it takes a very special person to be a comedian. Because check it out, dog. Look, you got to go to like a different city where you don't know nobodies. Mm-hmm. And you got to try to make people laugh. Mm-hmm. And it's like you live off of that. That's like what makes you keep on going, right?
Yeah. The laughter is everything. Like we can do an arena with 10,000 people. Or we can do a room at a bar with maybe 7 people, and to us, the best gig is the one where people laugh the most. So you may have a room, you may do an arena, you may do a theater with 1,000 people, 5,000 people, but if the laughter is not good, you don't feel right about it. But if you do a bar with 5 people and they're dying, you're like that. I like that show better because you get the responses better. You know what I mean? And it's all about the response. Now, obviously, if you're doing a theater, you're doing an arena, you're doing a place that has, hundreds of people or thousands of people, you're probably going to get a better laugh. But sometimes you don't. And you're like, I've done theaters where the energy was really low, and I'm like, it is what it is.
Yeah, Doc, it is what it is. Look, it's sometimes it's not the comedians, it's the crowds.
Yeah. I never try to blame the crowds, but it is the crowd sometimes.
Sometimes.
Sometimes the crowd, the energy of the crowd is just, because energy is what do they call that? It's not addictive, but
contagious.
It's contagious. Thank you. And sometimes you could always tell the energy if you go to a room before the show starts. If people are making talking and there's a lot of energy walking around, I'm like, all right, there's gonna be good. There's good energy. But if the place is full and it's quiet, the energy is low, and that's going to come across on stage too.
Yeah, I recently did the Laugh Factories in the Long Beach,
mm-hmm. Nice.
And it was nice. It was like 100 people there. I made them laugh, and it was cool, right? And I was like, I got off, and I felt good. And then like a couple of days later, I did like a small little place,
right,
and like they didn't laugh. and then
sucks, dude.
yeah, and then one of the fat chicks like sitting in the front goes, "You suck," and I'm like, "Nah, dog." I'm like, "You suck, dog." You don't understand comedy. Look, you wouldn't know comedy if I fucking if it slapped you on the face, dog. Come on, dog.
No, that's true. Very true. Some people don't have no idea what being a comedian is like or what a good joke is like. And now people are judging you, from all over the place and anonymously, right? So, that I didn't like that. Now everybody's always brave. Nobody's brave enough to come to your face hardly and go, I don't like this, I don't like this. But they'll do it online, especially under a name that nobody fucking knows. You know what I mean? So it's I don't really give a shit about people's opinion. I want people to like me. I want people to have fun. But they don't put food. They don't come. I mean, other than obviously buying a ticket to the show, they don't pay my bills. They don't call me up and tell me, "Joey, you okay?" They don't. I do my own thing.
You're talking about the haters,
yeah,
right?
The haters. That's right.
Not,
you know about haters.
I'm a little hater, dog. I'm the best podcast in Long Beach. You're talking about the haters, not the actual supporters.
The supporters I love and I appreciate. And there's always, thank God, there's always more of those, right? There's more people that always support you, and there are people that'll come. Like I'll have a film in a film festival, they'll come see that. I have people I'll do a show, they'll come to that. And I appreciate those people a lot. Even the ones that can't, come or they live somewhere else, but as long as they leave a nice comment, I so appreciate that. I love that. It makes me feel good. But there are a lot of haters out there, you're right. And the haters, look, majority of the haters are assholes and just sad about their own life. So now they want to jump into other people's lives, right? But just don't pay attention to them.
Yeah, it's like people that like hate are like people that are like not doing like better than you.
Yeah.
And they want to bring you down to that level.
Yeah, hardly anybody who's doing better than you will criticize you. It's always somebody not doing as much as you that criticizes you. So, it's like people like, yeah, I didn't like your movie. I'm like, well, did you make one? No? Then shut up. What are you talking? You know how hard it is to make a movie, dude? You idiot.
That's what I tell people. Somebody was criticizing me about my podcast, and I go, well, you got a podcast? And they're like, no. And I go, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, exactly. Not only that, like, let me tell you something. Like, you put energy behind your podcast. We got on the phone, we talked a few times to set it up. That takes time. That takes energy. We're here hanging out on the beach, which is a great idea. It really is.
The number one original guy to do it, dog.
That's right. And this is dope. Look, we got a dog over here behind you. He's just chilling.
Watch out, dog. I don't got no biscuits, dog.
He wants to be a movie star. Look, he's just laying down.
He's part of the podcast now.
And it's you got your equipment, you got cameras, you got perfect shade, and it's like it takes effort, man. And a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people don't take effort to put, like I was telling you off camera that I'm setting up my podcast to do it again, but I'm very picky, so I'm not going to do it until I get it right. You know what
I'll
I mean?
help you, dog. I'll help you.
I got you, man. You got me.
I'll tell you how to do it, dog. Hey, dog, one thing that people like don't know that much is you used to be a boxer too, dog.
Yeah, like 100 pounds ago, man. I was a boxer. I was a professional boxer. I was an amateur boxer, obviously, first, right, for a while, Golden Gloves, Junior Olympics, all that stuff. And then I moved from New York City to Arizona, and I became a professional boxer there. And it was fun, man. It was good. I was in shape. I was thin. And then when I stopped, I blew up like a life raft, man.
When you did the Latin Kings of Comedy, you still look good, dog.
Thank you, but you know what? I'll tell people secrets. I don't care. Like not every secret, obviously, but like I was wearing a girdle during the Latin Kings of Comedy, dude. Underneath that, because I had a little pancita, and it was like, man, I don't like it. So I went to Macy's and I bought a big ass girdle, not a big girdle, but like a girdle to hold my stomach in, and I had the shirt on, and I look good with that girdle, man. I don't even think I can fit in that girdle anymore. That's how bad it was.
I was watching it like just the other day, dog. You made me laugh, dog.
Thank you, brother. And there was another comedian on that show who's wearing a girdle as well, and I'm not going to mention who it is, but I wasn't the only one.
It was George.
I'm not going to say anything. Somebody else on that show had a girdle, but I'm not going to say.
Nah, it's all right. It's all right, dog. So what's harder, like like being a boxer or being a comic, dog?
You know what, dude? To be honest, it's a great question. And they're both the same. Because boxing and comedy are very much the same. It's an individual sport, right? It's an individual art form. It's us against the audience. It's us against the opponent, the other boxer, and it's all about momentum. It's all about, changing energy. It's all about punchlines and punches, right? So, like for instance, let's say you have a joke that kills, always destroys, and then you do it, and they don't laugh. You're like, uh-oh. And you got to start backing up. You got to start like doing little jokes. Same thing in boxing. Let's say, you have a great left hook, and you hit a dude with a great perfect left hook, and he just looks at you. You're like, okay, I got to start throwing jabs now. I got
to pepper him in.
Yeah, that left hook is not working. So it's very much the same way, man. It's momentum. Like there's times on stage where as soon as you start, it's easy. You got it. And then there's other times you're like, man, I'm not doing well. I have to get him on my side. Same thing with boxing, where you jump in right away, and it's LAPD. You jump in right away, and
it shouldn't pick it up.
Oh, okay.
Very little, if any.
All right. So it's in boxing, it's the same thing. In boxing, you got to change momentums. Everything's going good. This guy's pretty easy, and sometimes it's not. You're like, oh, I gotta change my plan because this plan ain't working. It's exactly the same, man. Exactly the same.
It's like it's like I've been in a situation where I'm doing comedies and the same thing. Like I'm hitting them and it's not working out, and I'm like, throw me the light. Throw me the light. Get me out of here, coach.
Dude, when I first started doing stand-up, I was like, man, I wish someone could throw in the towel, man. Oh, please, like, stop the fight right now. I'm getting killed.
Hey, Doc, you know what? Luckily, like, for me, it's like I'm not doing, like, big-time shows right now. I'm doing, like, like 5-10 minutes,
Right.
So it's like, to me, and I'm not getting paid. So to me, it's like, when I'm not, like, getting the reaction from the crowds, I don't like wasting people's time, so I just say, okay, I'm out, and then I just I say thank you, and I let the next homie hit it,
Right.
I'm like, if I'm not cutting the mustard, maybe the next vato will do them, and then also I like to get off because like I don't want to hog the mic and then bring the energy level low.
Right.
So if I'm bombing, it's like have respect for the next vato, right? That's how I do it.
Well, that's the thing, but the thing is sometimes, like if you're headlining, you don't have a lot of choice. You got to finish your time, right? So, which is like roughly 45 minutes, right? Let's say, and that's a headlining position. A lot of clubs, people think I'm the headliner. I'm like, you're not a headliner. You just went last. Everybody's doing 20 minutes, or everybody's doing 10 minutes. You went last. You're not a headliner. You're last. But a headliner is somebody who does 45 minutes to an hour, right? So if you're doing 45 minutes to an hour and you're getting paid for that, you can't get off. You gotta stay on stage and just take the beating, dude.
I recently learned that, dog. Like one of my homies was up there for 20 minutes, and then I told my friend, hey, he's not doing so good. Why doesn't he get off? He goes, he can't, dog. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, no, he got paid to do 20.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, we have to we still got 10 more minutes? They're like, yeah, yeah, we do, dog.
Now, sometimes the booker, like if I was booking a show and somebody was dying, even though I paid him for a certain time, I'll give him a light early so he can get off early. Because I believe it's better for the show, right? It's better for the show that the guy gets off early. And but sometimes you don't. You got to go up there and just do their time, man. And the funny thing is, as comics, we always make fun of our friends who have a bad show. Like to us, that's the funniest thing. It's like watching our friend fall downstairs. It's like, oh, dude, you ate it, And they're like, oh, wait, I'm next. Hope I don't eat it.
That must be like a generational thing, dog. Because me and my homies, we don't do that.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Oh,
no.
Well,
I mean, they don't.
But you know why? Probably is because you guys probably eat it a lot. So that's probably why.
Not me, dog.
No, like for instance, what I mean is like I have a great friend, a really good friend of mine named Drew, right? He always kills. But one time we did a show and he ate it, man. He was dying, and I was in the back cracking up. And he got off stage. He felt bad. He's like, "Man, I'm sorry, man." I'm like, "Well, what are you sorry for?" He goes, "Yeah, I sucked." I go, "Dude, I know you're great, but you suck today. But you're a great comic."
Sometimes,
but I've done that too, dude. And I'm not just saying this. Like I am a really good comic. I've been doing this 30 years. I know what I'm doing. I've been in every kind of crowd. I've performed all over the world, not just in America, right? But sometimes I have a bad show, and it's, sometimes it may be my fault. Sometimes it's just the audience is just not with me. Whoever knows, I try to figure it out. Like when I'm on that stage, I usually go, okay, I know I've been doing this so long that I know how to turn it around, right? And then sometimes audiences will only go up to 5, not 10. So, a lot of comics who kill all the time and get 10s, if they don't get a 10, they start freaking out on stage. And I did that in the beginning. And then but then I realized, no, this audience is only a 5. So if I go 5, I'm good. If I get 6, I'm okay, even better, right? But it's not going to go 10. They're not going to fucking give me a standing O. They're not going to jump off their fucking seats. They're just going to laugh up to here. And then that's it. As long as I get that, I'm happy.
You know what? Comedy's kind of like sex, dog.
Yeah.
Yes. It's like
it hurts.
It hurts. You wish everybody will get off. Sometimes you have a good time and they don't have a good time. Right. And it's kind of like that. So you're always trying to deliver your best performance.
That's true. The bed, you got to change the sheets. All kinds of things.
But sometimes your best performance is only 2 minutes, dog.
That's it. You're like, look, those are the best 2 minutes ever. Just replay it in your mind again. That's what you got to tell them.
Hey, but if you look at it like this, dog, the best 2 minutes of a basketball and a football game, it's always the last 2 minutes, dog.
There you go. You see? So the last 2, even if they're the first 2 at the same time, it's still good, the last 2. Right?
So let me ask you this, dog. What hits harder, dog, your punches or your punchlines?
Ooh. I would have to say my punchlines. I mean, I haven't had a fight in years. But the last time I hit somebody was at a bar, and it was really fast. He fell, and I left.
That's the best way to do it, dog.
Yeah. You don't want it. You don't want the cops to show up.
Hey, man, you know what? Hey, I don't like bullies, dog.
Yeah, me too. I hated bullies ever since I was a kid. That's one of I talk about this in my act. I had this friend of mine who was gay. His name was Victor in high school, and everybody would always mess with him, right? And then he would always hang out with this girl that I liked. So one day he was having lunch with that girl, and these 2 idiots from a football team or baseball team or something came up to the table and started teasing him, messing with his food. And then I thought, I was a boxer, I was in Golden Gloves and all that. So I thought, I'll go there, I'm going to save the day. And then me and the girl hook up. But instead, me and him became girlfriends. It was crazy. But I loved him. He was so funny. But nobody messed with him after that. Nobody messed with him because they knew that's Joey's boy. That's Joey's boy. You can't mess with Joey's boy, man. Because it's true. Somebody messed with him, I would F their shit up, man. You know what I mean? And because I was very defensive. I was very, I grew up with sisters and aunts and my grandmother and my mom, all female. So I was always very protective. And I've always been that way. So yeah, I hate bullies. Bullies are assholes. If you're a bully, you're a piece of shit. Please stop it. And because some bullies don't know they're pieces of shit. They just think they're getting bullied at home. They're getting beat up by the drunk dad. You know what I mean? So it's just be a better human being. That's all I want to say.
Hey, dog, I almost got into a fight. What was it, on Saturday, dog?
With a bully?
Yeah, so check it out, dog. This guy, right? Like, I put on my sticker, right? Tacos and Workouts, best podcast.
Right.
And this vato, he didn't like me, dog.
Why?
He just didn't. He never liked me, dog.
He don't like tacos?
He just don't like me as a person.
Why? You don't know?
Because he's a fucking bitch, dog. That's why he don't like me.
You know what you got to do? This is what you got. I mean, you do whatever you want to do. What I would do if I was you, I would call him up, go, hey, brother, I want to take you to lunch. Meet him for lunch in an area just with you and him, so he doesn't have to show off in front of anybody, and go, what's the problem, man? What's the problem?
I have another story like that.
Okay.
I tried that approach before, but It doesn't work because these fools are too stupid, dog.
Oh, some people are too stupid.
Yeah, they're too stupid, dog. So this is what I say, dog. I always aim for peace.
Yes.
But if you can't aim for peace, aim between the eyes, dog. So check it out, dog. So this guy, he covered my sticker like with his sticker, dog.
That's stupid.
And it is pretty stupid, dog. Because
it's disrespectful.
I called him like, wait, dog, why you do that? He goes, it wasn't me, dog. I thought, it was you, dog. He was
who else is gonna be?
Exactly. Who else knows? And I go, listen, dog, you don't do stupid shit like that, dog. It's disrespectful. I go, obviously you don't like me, dog, and I don't like you now because you're stupid. So you know what? Let's just stay on our different directions, dog.
Right.
So then I kept it as is. So I bumped into the vato at a bar. And I saw him. He saw me. He tried to say hello, and I just walked right by him. Like, I'm not even gonna pay attention to him, right?
Right.
As I'm walking out, he turns towards my direction, and he started saying, like, yelling and saying stupid shit. So I walked right back in, and he was right there with his girlfriends and some guys. And I told him, "Who the fuck do you think you're talking to, dog?" He goes, "Oh, I wasn't talking to you." He said, and he was sitting down, and all his friends goes, "Oh, you just bitched out, dog." Because he caught me on a good day, dog.
Hey.
and that guy turned fucking yellow, dog. He knew I was gonna fuck him up, dog. But as soon as I saw that he was the bitch, I said, "Well, I proved my point.
Right.
I don't gotta do nothing no more." And so I walked out.
Yeah, he just bowed down himself. That's the thing, man. People, I like that I'm older. I'm in my very late 20s. And the reason I like being older is because I don't jump at shit the way I used to jump at shit before. Before I was like, and I still got a bad temper sometimes. And it's like, but I'm like you. I aim for peace. I'm like, how can we fix this, dude? I was performing in Europe a couple months ago. Coming back, I said, let me upgrade to business class because it's a long trip. So I upgraded business class, and I'm like, cool. And you would think business class is classier. So I get into an argument with some older white dude who's yelling and cursing at this other guy. And I'm like, dude, why don't you chill? And he's cursing me. I'm like, this motherfucker. And he's sitting right next to me. And I'm mad dogging him. Like, I want to punch this dude in the face. But I'm thinking, what can I do? I want to be like in Commando with Arnold Schwarzenegger where I just hit the guy and he passes out. Like, so we take off. About 5 minutes in the air, and I'm looking at him mean, like he's right next to me, right? And he just turns to me and goes, "I'm sorry." And I go, "You know what? I accept." And I put my hand out, we shuck, and he goes, "Man, I'm just having a bad day." I go, "Dude, I've had many bad days myself. I get it. Thank you very much." But so we got into a little conversation. Then once we leveled off, I go, "You know what would be nice? If you told that guy you're sorry too," which is the first guy he was arguing with. And he goes, "You think so?" I go, "Yeah." So he gets up and he apologizes to that guy. And I'm like, see, peace in the world.
Things escalate quick because people's feelings get hurt, dog.
Yeah. No, people's feelings do get hurt. And people's egos get hurt. Especially with minorities, right? We have egos, man, because we're tough people. We basically grew up in a urban area, urban settings, in the streets. So we've got an ego to uphold. And I get that, but you always have to, know when to let the person save face, and you have to know when to let them pull out. You have to, if you corner somebody, they're gonna fight back. But if you give them a chance to get out, if they're smart or normal, they'll get out of that. You know what I mean? And I think that's the best way to do it, where you can still be tough and you can save face.
Hey, you know what I say, dog? Fuck being tough, dog. Fuck it, dog. Being tough don't pay the rent, dog.
No, it don't. Unless you're an MMA fighter or a professional boxer.
Exactly, dog. If you want to be a tough guy and you want to fight the world, fucking get paid for it, dog.
Yeah, no, but it's not. And I don't mean tough in that sense. But I mean more like, you want to be confident. You don't want to ever get bullied or pushed around by people. And I know people like that that'll take advantage of you. And you're like, I won't let that happen for me in my world or people around me. I'm like, nah, and because I grew up in the South Bronx in New York. I grew up, and that's my whole life. That's how I was born and raised, right? And I'm a really nice person, but I'm also very, I'm always looking around. I'm always looking behind me. I'm like, I know there's bad people out there. And I look for that bad sign right away as soon as people come close to me, man. Because I don't know if they're coming in with a happiness or they're coming in with a sadness, or, you know what I mean, or a craziness. And, here we are in Venice Beach, right? There's a lot of crazy people out here, man.
A lot of them.
A lot. And it's, you never know what you're going to get. So I always keep my eyes out. Always, it's funny because I watch at home. I watch the news and stuff. And I even watch in Venice Beach. There's a hotel that has a camera that pans the whole thing, and it looks around and zooms and you could see everybody that's happy. Dude, that's I see crazy shit happening all the time. I'm like, this is so weird, man. But it's but it's beautiful. Look at it. At the same time, it's beautiful.
It is beautiful. Listen, now we got a little tongue tied. Hey, check it out. That we need to take a little break, and we'll be right back. Órale, como this is me, little hater. Hey, guess what, Doug? This podcast is brought to you by the Patio Nuts. You had me at hola. So go out and get some of these nuts. These Tapatio nuts.
What it is. Podcast.
All right, thank you to our sponsors. Hey, check it out, Doug. Go ahead and click the links below on the description, and you know what? Hit them up, Doug. Oh, also before we move on, Doug, you could also check out our podcast on the What It Is podcast on Spotify and all major audio platforms, Doug. Check it out, Doug.
Hey, that's cool. Look
Just
at
like
you.
that,
You're everywhere.
I'm everywhere, Doug. Did you know I was part of Chicano Hollywood too, Doug?
Oh, that's dope, man.
I'm
I
everywhere.
Love Chicano Hollywood. They're good people. That's Johnny.
That's my boy, Doug.
Yeah, I love Johnny. Johnny's dope.
Yeah, Doug. Hey, Doug. So what's this thing I hear about, like the strikes, Doug? What's going on, Doug?
Bro, people don't want to pay us, man. So you've got the Screen Actors Guild, which is SAG. We're on strike. The Writers Guild, they're on strike. And it's a lot of people think, well, actors and all these people make all this money, why would they want more? It's not true. The majority of actors are working at Starbucks. They're working at restaurants. They're now 80-something%, I think it's 85%, give or take a couple of numbers, points. 85% of people don't even qualify for health insurance through after SAG, right? So it's a lot of actors don't make a lot of money, and even the ones that make a lot of money only make it for that time, and that's it. Then it goes away, right? So here you are making, let's say, $15,000 an episode, but then once that stops. The bills don't stop, right? So now if you bought yourself a house, if you bought a brand new car, if you got a hotter girlfriend, right? Sorry, man. You're going to have to downgrade and get the ugly one again because you're not going to have no money, man.
Get the one with less teeth, Doug.
Yes. The less teeth, the less money you need to have.
That's right, Doug.
There's a few people here you could probably hook up with.
It'd be like, hey, you look, the water bill's expensive. Maybe take half the showers, you know?
That's right. Don't take full shower. Just take half a shower.
Just take, like, the bottom portion showers.
Yes, there you go. That's it. Or just wait till it rains. Go out there with a soap.
Or we'll throw you right here in the beach real quick.
Yeah, there you go.
Free showers, Doug.
Yeah, but this Venice Beach, you probably come out dirtier than when you jumped in.
Not as dirty as Long Beach. That water is even dirtier, Doug.
I know. I take my dog to the dog park in the dog beach. Yeah, Rosie's. Yeah. I take my dog there all the time. She loves it. I take her here too. I was going to bring her for the podcast, but I didn't want her, messing things up. But she's crazy.
Is she a big dog or a little dog?
She's medium. She's a boxer. So she's a...
Oh, shit. No. Come on, Doug. Come on.
But her name is Roxy. That's my baby. That's the love of my life, man. I love that little dog. That's my daughter.
Yeah, I had a girl once tell me, like, if I were to ask you, like, to get rid of your dog or get rid of me, like, who would you choose? And I said, oh, that's an easy, like, answer. And she goes, ah, and I go, I was talking about the dog.
Yeah, no.
I'm like, I'll never get rid of my dog.
Yeah, my friend has a joke similar to that, and he goes, does the dog look worried? It's true, right? It's like, yeah, don't mess with a man and his dog, man. Like that. Hey, look at John Wick, bro. That dude got 4 movies because somebody killed his dog.
Dog, that movie's got me in the feelings, dog.
It's true.
Hey, did you notice that in that movie, it's like they never like ran out of bullets?
Oh, I know. I love it. In real life, you just thought that they shoot.
Hey, dog, check it out, dog. I'm so fucking fat, dog, that when I was watching like John Wick run around and shit, I got tired, dog. That's how fat I am, dog.
Yeah, no, I'm watching the John Wick. And I'm like, oh man, dude, just quit. Just give up. Just, but yeah, man. I watched it on the plane, man. So I was ready to, like, if a terrorist was on there, I was ready to kill him, man. Because you ever do that when you were a kid, watch a karate movie, then you think you knew karate?
Yeah.
I used to do that shit all the time. And then I remember when the first time I watched one of the Bruce Lee movies with the nunchucks, I went home and I fucking cut every broom and mop in half. My mom's like, "What the hell's going on with it?" I'm like, "What?" I was trying to make nunchucks out of them.
With ropes instead of chains.
Yeah. I was like, kids are retarded, man.
So back to the whole like writer strike, dog. Hey, I don't know. Like I heard that Disney is trying to do like some movidas, like where they like scan your face and then they use you as an audience member, like for the rest of the time, or something like that.
From what I heard, and I'm hearing it through other sources, so I don't know how accurate this is, but it's from what I heard is, and I don't know if it's Disney. I just heard there's a studio trying to like extras, right? Or they call them atmosphere, people in the background, which is very important for a film. I use them too because it's even my little films because it makes it more realistic. If there's a scene at a restaurant, there's two people and the actors and nobody else there, that feels weird, right? So you want to put people around, and those people normally get paid per day. So they'll get paid, let's say, $25 to a couple $100 a day, right? And that's their job. And then they do it again the next day, and they do it again, the next day. But what one of the studios supposedly wants to do, or more than one, is they want to scan the actor and then pay them for that one time, and then that's it. Use them AI-wise all the time and put them wherever they want. And I think that's messed up.
No, that's jacked up, dog. Yeah. Check it out, dog. It's like this. If you get to use my likeness, then I get to use your characters however I see fit, dog. And I bet they're not gonna like that, dog.
No, they won't. Disney wouldn't like if you use Mickey Mouse,
exactly.
As many times as you want over, or even music or everything. No, people should get paid for their work, and if you wanna AI somebody and get their image and keep using them, that's fine, but keep paying them, and maybe you pay them a little less. I don't know. Come up with a deal. I don't know what the deal is, right? But you still got to pay them, because otherwise, then that means you work once and you'll never work again. That means you'll never get another job because somebody owns your image. That's one, and two, you don't need to work because they already got your image and they're gonna make it work anyway. So then that's pretty unfair.
Did you see the Flash, the one that came out?
Mm-hmm.
I like the part how like they brought Christopher Reeves.
Yeah.
And I was like, dog, that's one of my, I think the best Superman, dog, for me.
Yeah, and then the original Superman they even brought back. Remember the black and white one?
Yeah.
So I don't know. See, so on that, those things, did they pay the actors again, or did they pay? I don't know.
I think they would have to pay the estate, right?
If they're not alive, they pay the estate. That's what I would think. Now, if they had a rule, now I'm sure when Christopher Reeve was alive, that what they're doing now didn't happen. So to use his image. Now the thing is this though, if it's the same studio, it could be the same contract. So like for instance, let's say I did a movie with you today, and you sign a release. I paid you $200 for today, right? On that contract says I own that image forever, right? So I own that. So now let's say I do another movie, and I want to do a flashback of our conversation, and I show the scene. I don't have to pay you again.
Hey, did you know that I had to turn down a movie?
You did?
Yeah.
Which movie did you turn down?
Well, it was in the process of making some movies, and I had to bow down.
But what?
I had to bow down. I said, no, I don't want to.
What happened?
Well, it's because I started thinking about it, dog. It's like if I come out in the movies like as myself, then I don't want nobody to owns me, dog. So I said, hey, I can't do it at this moment, dog. So I elected not to do the movie.
All right. Well, that's fair, and that's that's a beautiful thing. It's up to you, right?
Yeah, because I own my intellectual property, dog.
Right. Well, that you can also change contracts to make it. You could say something like, in a contract, let's say if you're playing yourself, go, I'm playing myself. I own me. You can't, like for instance, when I do radio, when I do anything, I always make sure I own the material. When I do a comedy show, they may own that clip, but I own the material on the clip. You know what I mean? So those are little things you could work in the contract. Like you can say, look, you own this video,
but just for that movie?
Yeah, this character, it's my character. I own it. You can't all of a sudden put somebody else in my clothes and in my setup and pretend that's me, because I own that person, not you. And that's a lot of, because in movies, whoever wrote it owns the character, right? So like you're playing Bob, Well, Bob, they own Bob. They invented Bob. They wrote Bob. But in a situation like you where you're playing yourself, then you should own yourself. They can't own you. You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
Yeah, and that's fair. And that's something that if you look at the contract, if it's you can change that very easily, like in one paragraph.
Yeah, because I also write like movies and stuff like that, and
Scripts, stuff. Yeah.
yeah, because people think I'm a stupid vato, but I'm not, dog. Just because I smoke a lot of weed doesn't mean. Nah, I'm just kidding. I don't smoke a lot of weed. Now drink Coronas, dog. Yeah, I do that, dog. But yeah. So I'm gonna have to tweak some of the characters that I do and stuff like that.
Yeah, and just do it, because if you do it, then you own it, and then you just make sure that that's in the paper, and then you'll be fine. And the thing is, things on small budget, they're never gonna screw you, because they're not even capable of screwing anybody themselves. You know what I mean? So you don't have to worry about it. I do small productions for people all the time. Hey, can you? I'm like, yeah, I don't give a shit. Come on, let's yeah, I got it. You know what I mean? But if it's something bigger, then I pay attention more. I'm like, all right, let me look at the contract. Let me look at this. Let me look at everything.
Because there's specifications of what says that they're trying to do in perpetuity, right? That means forevers and evers and evers, right?
But it's usually only their project. They don't own you, they own the project. They may own the character because they wrote that character. If you're looking at a script and you're playing a guy named Bob, you don't own Bob. They own Bob. They can put anybody in that position to play Bob. You know what I mean? And maybe this movie you're Bob, and maybe they don't like you. Next movie somebody else plays Bob.
Yeah. So going back to that CGI and their Superman thing, you know how hey, they like you, dang. Hey, so you know how in the Flash, how they brought the Christopher Reeves,
yeah,
and they brought Nicolas Cage, dog.
Yeah.
That was never a real Superman, dog.
No, but he was going to be.
But he never hit the screen, dog. So Nicolas Cage, you're out of there, dog.
But you know what it was? That was supposed to be the universe where they did make it.
Yeah, that Superman lives, right?
Yeah, that his character was one.
Was one, right?
Yeah,
come on, dog. He's never a Superman. Not in my book. Come on, dog.
Yeah, I don't see Nicolas Cage as Superman.
As a matter of fact,
I like him as an actor.
I like him as an actor too, dog.
Right.
His movies are good, dog. But I think that by adding Nicolas Cage to the Flash, it overall dropped the quality of the movie, dog. It's like you throw in a little piece of failures and stuff. That was a funny movie though. Did you?
Yeah. No, I like the movie a lot.
From the beginning and everything, dog.
Yeah, and I'm not. And my friend is a really big superhero movie fan. I'm not that big of a superhero movie fan, but I really enjoyed that one. That was a good movie.
If you could be any kind of superhero, who would you be, dog?
You mean if I had a superpower?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad you asked that, because I already know the answer, and I already asked that to other people. Power of suggestion. And I learned that from Jessica Jones. Power of suggestion is better than flying, better than being strong, better than all that, because you can do anything you want with power of suggestion.
Give me an example.
Okay, let's say I go to a bank and go, I want you to give me all the money, and I don't want you to report it, and be happy about it. You can go up to a girl, I want you to sleep with me, and like it. And they will. You can go on a plane and go, I want to go, let me on first class. I don't have a ticket. And they let you on. It's power of suggestion. There's a character on Jessica Jones on Netflix who had that power. And I'm like, oh my God, that's the best power ever. You can do anything. You can go anywhere. You can get a house. You can live wherever you want. You could go, I want to buy this. I want you to sell me this house for $1. And they'll sell you the house for $1. I'm like, that is awesome. I would get Trump to admit that he's a lying, failure, racist person. I would get him, and that's the truth. I won't get him to lie. I'll just tell him to tell the truth. That's how I would even go. I go, from now on, you have to tell the truth. It'll be over. He'll be in jail tomorrow. And then, so things like that. And I would go on stage and just tell the crowd, you guys are going to have the best comedy show you've ever seen in your life. And I would kill every single time. I would, it was just power suggestion, dude. That's the number one power to have.
Wow, that's a good power, Sty.
How about you? What power would you have?
Well, I'm a big Superman's fan, so I want to be like Superman's.
That's a good one.
Yeah, but if I can't be like Superman's, then I would want to be like Wolverine's,
Well,
Yeah, like cause like the chingazos, like well, the class is good, but like the regenerative powers,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
that's why.
No, it's good, and I like last Wolverine was dope. It wasn't so superhero-y. It was very more realistic of a feel, and I like that. That was really good.
And they're making another ones too, dog.
Of Wolverine.
Yeah, it's like with the guy with the pretty boy, dog, Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. Ryan Reynolds, man. That Ryan Reynolds is funny. He's a good-looking dude. He's really talented. He's a lucky guy, man. And who is he married to? Ryan
His hot
Reynolds?
wife, dog. Oh my God.
He's to Eva Mendes, right?
Blake Lively, I think her name.
Oh, that
is.
was who's with Eva Mendes?
That's that Ryan Gosling guy.
Oh, that's right. They both look alike. Handsome white guys.
Hey, I can't tell white people apart, dog. They all look the same, dog. They all look the same.
You know, but yeah, man. God, Eva Mendes.
Yeah, that's
would kill for her.
Like, who's your top like Mija that you
Apollonia, son. Apollonia,
Who's that, dog?
dude from Purple Rain.
Oh, that was before my times, dog.
Dude, she was fine. She's still fine. She's
Yeah?
old now, and she's still fine. Apollonia is still fine, dude. I love Apollonia. I met her once.
Oh, damn. How was that like?
It was good, dude. I wish I had the power of suggestion back then.
For me, it's Ana de Armas, dog. Oh my gosh.
Who's that?
She came out in that movie Knock Knock with what's his name with Keanu Reeves.
I don't.
Yeah, okay. She came out in the movie Water Under the Bridge.
Damn, tell me what movies I didn't see.
Yeah, okay, yeah. She came out in Marilyn Monroe's, the new one.
But her name sounds hot. So.
Oh no, she used to be with Ben Affleck.
Oh,
And then Ben Affleck.
Oh, I know who it is now.
And then Ben Affleck broke up with her and went with
right.
J Lo, dog. Come
Right,
on, dog. Hey, I wouldn't sleep with J Lo, dog.
Why?
I don't know, dog. It's just I'm like, nah, I'm good, dog. It's too much work, dog. It's like J Lo's like the kind of chick that you sleep with, and then like 5 minutes later she'll be mad, dog. and it's like, nah, man, I don't like that, dog.
Yeah, I don't like hanging out with anybody who's really high upkeep. Then you're like, it's not. It's like you all complain about everything. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, this and that. I'm like, stop complaining. They're gonna spit in my food because you're complaining about yours. So be quiet. She's not with me. She's not with me.
Yeah, dog. You gotta learn how to enjoy life, dog. It's like this, dog.
True.
Life is a matter of moments, dog. It's
right.
like people think that you live like a lifetime. Nah, I don't think that's true, dog. I think you live like moments. Like
Yes.
this is a moment, right? When you go like back home and I go back home, this moments it don't exist no more, dog.
No, you're right.
So you gotta learn how to like take advantage of the little moments, dog. And if you're able to take control of little moments in time and live happy in every single little moments, then you'll live a happy lifestyle, dog.
No, that's true. You just got to take it like that, and also you got to celebrate little wins. Don't always wait for a big win. Celebrate little wins. So if you accomplish something, but it's just small, it's still an accomplishment. It's like it's a little step, right? It's like if you want to climb a big long ladder, you have to take the first step, then you got to take the next step, then you got to take the next step. You just can't jump all the way to the top. So it's kind of like that.
Speaking about climbing ladders, dog, I saw you. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, go ahead.
I saw you on Instagram. You ran up the and I said, "Damn,
the rocky
dog."
stairs.
And
Yeah.
I said, "Damn, man, I got tired just looking at you, dog."
It was easier than I thought, but when I was running it, I told myself, I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna stop. That was Rocky's my favorite movie of all time. I love the whole concept of Rocky. I love that whole Cinderella story, and I've never been on those stairs, right? And to be on those stairs and to see his statue, and I was like, oh my God, this is so dope. And I told myself, I'm gonna run up these stairs. If I have to drag myself up, I'm gonna do it. And I did it. And I was like, all right, I did it. And it's not that hard because there's stairs and then it goes flat, then there's stairs and it goes flat, then it goes stairs, it goes flat. So you got a little bit of flatness. But the thing is, I have a bad knee. And I was like, oh, that's gonna mess me up, but it didn't. I did it, and I felt good. I felt like Rocky. And then I thought, when I did it the first time, I'm like, how come he couldn't do it the first time? What the hell's wrong with him, man? You know? I'm like, I'm in better shape than the original Rocky. I'm like,
Hey, Rocky's a good movie, dog.
Rocky's a great movie.
If you watch it, like, it could make you cry, dog.
Oh yeah, I don't know if this Rocky was a beautiful movie. It was literally a beautiful movie. Like, it was just perfect. It fixes all your problems. You watch this movie and you know, there's this poor guy who stood no chance against the heavyweight champion of the world, and he gets a spot and he rises to the occasion, and that's what it was. Rocky Balboa's character rose to the occasion, and that's what we have to do as people.
It's like a metaphor for lives, huh?
Yeah, big time. And that's when something happened. Okay, when I did Latin Kings of Comedy, same story. I knew that Latin Kings of Comedy was going to be huge. I knew that it was going to put me in a position that's way different than I did before, right? But I also knew this. I knew there was going to be a lot of haters. I knew every Latino comic was going to be like, why him? Why him? Why him? Why him? And that's okay. I was ready for that. But what I did was I'm going to be a better comic now than I ever was. So I started writing more. I started performing more. I started writing better. I put a lot of work in it because I wanted to rise to the occasion. And when I did Latin Kings of Comedy, I thought I did a great set. I shot 2 shows. They edited it to 1. It was a good set. But then after that, I still had to rise to the occasion. And I had to keep, you know, now I'm headlining shows and theaters and casinos, and I had to really bring it on, and that's what I did. I did my own Rocky. That was my own version of Rocky.
So what's life now that you say that you do like your own, like, headlining your shows and stuff like that? Because like, some people think, like, when they don't see you no more, like on like comedy specials and stuff like that, people think that you're gone and you stop working, right?
Yeah, well, I guess so.
But the reality is, you always keep on working, right?
Yeah, you always work. You're always there. We're always. Not every show is advertised. Not every show is going to be the theater. Not every show is going to be the big casino. And unfortunately, now that we live in a society of, you know, social media, if you're not posting shit, you're not doing shit. And to be honest, if I wasn't a comedian, I wouldn't have social media at all. I would still be on MySpace. I wouldn't have anything, dude, because I don't give a shit. Like, I don't need, but I understand, though, in this industry, you have to post shit so people know that you're still alive and you're still working, you're still doing shit.
The power of social media, like, it has its benefits and it don't got its benefits, and it's like this, dog. Because I talk to, like, a lot of talented people, a lot of comedians, and sometimes people say, like, you know, that they don't want to post their stuff because then people don't want to come and see you.
No, that's stupid.
And I don't think that's the truth.
No, people want to see you if you post your stuff.
It's like for me, like, I found out about Willie Barcena, like, by Instagram, dog.
Yeah, but Willie's all over Instagram now.
And then, like, when I seen him, I met him in person, dog.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, Willie's a good guy.
Yeah,
man.
I bought him a beer, dog. I'm like,
Nice,
hey,
nice.
yeah, I like that guy. But if it would have been for, like, Instagram, I would have never known who he is, and
Right.
and I really like his comedy, dog.
Yeah, no, Willie's great. Willie's probably one of the best comics I ever met. And Willie now is kind of reinventing himself. Willie is now all over Instagram. He, you know, from what I understand, his son knows social media well, and his son showing him how to do stuff. But Willie was always a great comic. Willie has never been not a good comic. Willie's a great writer. Willie's a great comic. He's a great person, even though some people may not agree with that. But I think Willie's a great guy, and he deserves any success he's getting. And it's funny, you know, Willie did the Tonight Show when the Tonight Show mattered, you know, several times. I think Willie did between 5-7 times or something like that.
Yeah.
But nobody cares about that anymore. They care about his Instagram. So, and now he's blowing up because of his Instagram, and good for him. He deserves it. I love Willie. I wish Willie nothing but success. And, you know, and there you have it. I just need to get me a friend that knows how to do social media really good.
You and me both, dog. Hey, I was talking to another comedian, dog, and there's like to to me, it's like, you know how they always say, how long have you been doing comedy, dog?
Yeah.
Fucking hate that question, dog.
I'm glad I didn't ask you that.
Like 4 years, dog. No, but check it out, dog. Like sometimes it doesn't even matter because there's some vatos that've been doing it for 10 years and they suck for 10 years,
of course,
and they suck, right? So I came up with a new thing. I no longer tell comedians how long you've been doing comedy because it's irrelevant, dog.
Right.
I ask them 1 through 5. What's up, dog? Where you at? Right? Obviously, there's like on the pillars, like if you're a 5, it's like you, is like George, it's like Paul, it's like Felipe Esparza. You guys are all 5-star comics, dog.
Thank you.
Because you're that, and then there's like 4 stars where you're almost there, but you haven't quite made it, right? And then there's like a number 3 where like you're right in between. You could be like good and sometimes and not so good, right? I'm a 2, dog. I'm a 2 where it's like. Or possibly a 1. I don't know, but that's the thing about comedy. Comedy is always subjective,
yes,
right? And it's up for interpretation. But I was talking to another comic that he's a 1 or a 2, and I asked him, why don't you put your like clips on Instagram to promote yourself? And he's like, he said, oh, you're stupid, you're this, you're that, and I'm all like, well, fuck me, dog, for trying to help you, dog.
Right.
And then I said, look, dog. By putting your comedy out on Instagram, it's going to do 2 things. It's going to solidify your joke that you came up with it. Now it's stamped. Right? And it's going to open your audience to people who could relate to that joke and then come out and see you.
But you know what happens with a lot of new comics is that they're learning from other new comics. They're not learning from people who know what they're doing. They're learning from some dude who's been doing it for 2 weeks too. You know, yeah, you should do this. Oh, okay. Really? How is this motherfucker gonna teach you shit that he don't even know? You know what I mean? So like I give advice. I'll give advice to anybody, only if they ask for it, because I'm not gonna be one of these people that give somebody advice and then they get, you know, like, I'm like, fuck you, man. I don't care. And like my advice, I don't mind. I like watching people succeed. I really do. I love when I see Instagram or Facebook, whatever, and I see there's a comic that I know that is doing something good. He got a part in a movie, or he's doing this, or he's working in, you know, at a casino. Or I'm like happy. I'm like, hey man, congratulations. Don't take anything away from me to be happy for somebody else. You know what I mean? And I hope that when something good happens to me, they're happy for me as well. And if they're not, that's okay too. But it's I have zero problems giving shout outs to people or giving people their but what happens is with so many comics are jealous and they don't want nobody else to get a piece of that pie because they think if they get a piece of that pie, they can't get a piece of that pie, and that's not true.
I think that's like a lot of insecurities, dog, you know, but if you're like insecure within that you have to be doing those shenanigans, dog, it says more about your comedy than it says about you, dog, because it's like this, dog. It's like your comedy is like chingazos, bro, you know? Mm-hmm. It's like your chingazos should speak for themselves, right? Like your comedy should speak for itself. And the reason why you don't want to put it out there, dog, because you know you have what's that word? I want to use a big word, but I'm not good with using big words, dog. It just means that you're not that good, dog. You know?
Mediocre.
Yeah, that's a good one, dog.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like there's some jokes I personally like. I'm like, this ain't that good. I'm not going to post it because it's not that good of a joke. I like it because it's stupid, but, you know, and, but yeah, like my thing is this, man. Like, you know, I was just in Montreal, right, at the Just for Laughs Festival, which is the biggest comedy festival in the world. And everybody there is a heavyweight. Not everybody. Obviously, there's some comics better than others, right? And it felt good being what I felt, you know, being with amongst my peers, right? You know, and working with people who I admire their work. And I admire comics. I admire all comics. And it doesn't matter if they're well-known. It doesn't matter if they're brand new. There are open micers I've seen that I love. I'm like, oh my God, this open micer is going to be so good, you know, a couple years now because motherfucker's making me laugh. He's just so naturally funny. And then, you know, and then there's other people that like, you're right. I've seen comics who've been doing it 10 years and they're doing the exact same jokes they did 10 years ago. And I'm like, it's not funny anymore. You know what I mean? It's like you did that trick. Let's do another one. And that's why you always have to write. Always write. And even I write even if I know I'm not going to use it yet. I'm like, this joke ain't ready, but I like the idea. So I'm going to write the idea down. And then one day my brain's going to find a joke for it. You know, so it's kind of like that.
Hey, why are comics so sensitive, dog?
Well, it depends on what you're talking about. It's like
It's like a lot of like people like if you like you tell them something about like let's say their comedy or something like that, and they get like all offended like right away.
well, people are protective against their stuff. Like, I'm a really confident dude. If somebody tells me you're not funny, I know they're full of shit. I may not be funny to them, but I know I'm funny. There was this. I was working on I did a cruise ship one time, and on cruise ships you do PG shows, which are completely clean because there are children in the audience, and then you do regular R show, and you can be, you do your regular show. So I did a regular show. I was walking through the casino one day of the cruise ship, and this older white man comes up to me and he's smiling like, "Oh, I saw your show last night." "No, thank you." He goes, "You know what? For the life of me, I could not figure out why you would think I would think that was funny." And then he was still smiling, and I'm looking at him going, is he playing around? Is he insulting me? Like, I'm trying to figure. So I'm smiling going, okay, you didn't like it? He goes, "No, it's the filth, the F word." And then I'm like, I go, "Well, you didn't have to stay there. You could have walked out at any moment." He goes, "No, I wanted to stay to see what you had." He goes, "Because, I like comedians like George Burns and Don Rinkles and like all these. And I'm saying, the difference between those guys and me? They're dead."
I knew it. I knew you were gonna say that.
Yeah, and I go like this, and then at that point I go, he doesn't like cursing. And I go, well, the fucking problem is that, fucking things happen. What the fuck? What are you gonna fucking do? You know what I mean? Fucking. And I said fuck like 20 times. He's looking at me. Then he just walked away. I'm like, fuck this guy.
That's what you fucking get, you guy.
Yeah, you fuck. So, like, it insulted me, but it also didn't insult me. Like, the thing is this: as comedians, though, if there's 100 people in the audience and everybody laughs but one person, the one person we focus on is the person that's not laughing, because we're like, what happened? Like, everybody else, like, and the way I tell people is this: I go, look, man, it's not like we went to your house to tell these jokes. You came here, and if you don't like it, that's bad. That's on you, bro. That's not on me. You know what I mean? That's just I'm sorry you don't like my joke. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry I did it. I like the joke, and 99% of the people here like the fucking joke. So, the problem is not them or me. The problem is you. And that's the reality when it comes to stand-up.
It's like this. I was like, I saw like a deleted scene from Patrice O'Neill, right? And
One of the greatest comics ever.
I love that guy.
He would have been bigger than anybody.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. He told the lady, "Hey, I don't know why you're not laughing. It's like the problem is you. Because laughter's contagious." And I was like, yeah, it is, dog.
Yeah.
It's true. Like, because sometimes, like, haven't you noticed, like, there's like some dude's like standing in the corner of the other room, and he stupidly starts laughing at a post that he's looking at,
right.
And you turn to him, and because he's laughing, you start laughing, and you don't even know why you're laughing.
Yeah.
It's like, it's contagious, dog.
Yeah.
So it's like, sometimes it is the person themselves, dog.
Yes, laughter, the emotional herpes. That's what it is.
Dog. It to me, like it's like crack, dog.
Yeah, no, I've always loved laughter, right? I've always loved funny people. Always. Ever since. The only reason I even got into comedy was so I can hang out with other comics. That's the reason I got into comedy. I didn't think I could be a comedian. I didn't think I was good enough to be a comedian. I didn't think I had what it takes to be a comedian. But I told myself, I go, well, if I do open mics, then I can hang out with the open micers and be their buddy. That's all I wanted to be, was their buddy, And so... then one day I'm like, I have no choice. I got to do this shit for reals.
Well, listen, man, you're doing a great job, and you know what? We're always excited to hear about like stuff that you're working on, and tell us like what's coming up in your near future, so we could like not lose track of you.
That's right.
We gotta keep up with them, guys.
Right.
Tell them where they can find you on the Instagrams and all that.
Well,
stuff.
right now on Instagram, you can follow me at Joey Medina Comic. One word, Joey Medina Comic. That's also Facebook, Joey Medina Comic. I do still have MySpace because I don't know how to turn it off, but it's out there. But August, for those of you who live in the LA area, especially in West Covina, August 17th through the 20th. August 17th through the 20th, I'm going to be at the Laugh Factory in West Covina live. It's going to be a kick-ass show with Renee Garcia and Mike Kim. Little Chinito. He's hilarious, man. One of the funniest dudes I know. So is Renee. You guys going to love that show.
All right, there it is, man. You know what? Hey, guys, do me a favor. Check out that show. Buy your tickets before time.
Yes.
Because it possibly can get sold out, and you don't want to miss it, dog.
And yeah, and that if you haven't been to the West Covina Laugh Factory, it's beautiful. It's a movie theater. It's gorgeous, big stage, and it's like going out, like it's a special event, and it's definitely better than a lot of other clubs around there. So definitely check me out this month, August, along with Renee and Mr. Kim, and you guys are gonna love the show.
All right, let me drop out a little shout outs real quick before we leave.
Absolutely.
And then you could drop your shout outs. Big shout out to the man right here for coming on the best podcast in Long Beach. That's right, Joey Medina.
This is the best podcast in Long Beach, God damn it.
Big shout out to Paul Rodriguez.
Yes, it's my boy.
Friend to the show. Big shout out to Mel Garcia.
Yes.
Hey, Doc. Thanks a lot, Doc, for everything you've done for me, Doc.
Another good boy.
And big shout out to Felipe Esparza, Doc. Also friend to the show, Doc.
Yes.
I
love that fool.
What's up, fool? Any shout outs before we leave, Doc?
Yeah, I would say shout out to all of them. Drew Marks, my boy out there. He hangs out with me everywhere. Also, I'm going to be in Lake Havasu this Saturday, the 12th, right? So if this comes out before that, on the 12th, I believe, in Lake Havasu, Arizona. Come check me out there. It's going to be a dope show. And yeah, man, thanks for having me on, bro. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for coming, Doc.
I'm not a hater.
And with that said, we'll catch you guys a rato.
Adios.
The low rider is a little higher.